Would you walk into your own business?
Well, today's episode is all about your brand's curb appeal. Here's what's coming up. Trending marketing headlines. What small business owners need to know now. Step 6 of this season's brand landscaping. Fast fixes with big impact. Small business spotlight. What DC Lawn and Landscape nailed and why it should matter to the small business owner. And of course, our favorite Bourbon brand of the week, featuring 4 Roses, Small Batch Select. Every brand has a story. What's yours?
Well, sounds like we got a full episode and a glass full of bourbon, so let's get branded.
Cheers.
The BrandProof podcast is on. The BrandProof podcast is on. The BrandProof podcast is on. Here's the BrandProof podcast show.
Welcome back to the BrandProof podcast, episode 9. We have a really great show, really good content, good stuff coming up that we've spent, every week. We basically have to reset from show to show to show, and we have to kind of pick out what stories do we want to cover, what do we want to say,
Right.
There's a lot more that goes into this podcast than I was aware from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I mean, you say, I'm going to do a podcast, and then you get into it and you go, oh my gosh, I want to do a podcast.
Right. It's a lot of planning and looking through the viewers' comments and messages, which has been absolutely wonderful because we want to make sure that we're actually providing knowledge that's useful to people watching. So
I know. It's crazy. And, I normally have to work on the weekends doing this kind of stuff. But last weekend, I had to go visit my mom. And my mom doesn't live in the same area we do. So we packed up the kids. I say kids, even though they're grown adults.
they're always going to be your kids.
I know. And the wife. And we went and drove and saw my mom and had a really good time and had a good lunch with her and her husband. And got to hang out and kind of just chill for a day.
Yeah, we had a chilled weekend as well.
Yeah, so what'd you do?
Very rare. Well, we kind of just lazed around the house a little bit. My husband, who is literally, as you know, the real bourbon aficionado, or however you say that.
Who is reviewing this as we speak.
Yes. And we're learning, and we've learned a lot.
Right.
Thank you, John.
Right.
But we also took a little ride to one of our favorite liquor stores over in Pensacola, which for those who don't know, we're on the Alabama-Florida state line where we're located. So it's not too far to just cross over to the Florida line, and you don't have to pay taxes on your
I know.
food,
There are
drink.
some perks
Yes.
in Florida.
And we picked up this week's bourbon, which I'm very eager to try.
Well, why don't you just, before we really go into depth on that later in the show, why don't you give us a little hint and then maybe even a little sip too?
Yes. And can we have a few sips before we get to that segment?
Yes. We can definitely have a few sips before that segment.
4 Roses. I mean, this is a very popular bourbon amongst bourbon lovers, but we have chosen the Small Batch Select this week. So that's all I'm going to say right now. But yeah.
All right. Well, can I go ahead and sip this then?
Yes. Cheers.
Then. What English?
Alrighty then.
Has a very distinct smell. All right.
It's 104 proof.
Yes. So again, Ryan, sip, not chug.
Right,
not chug.
because you got to get us through the headline,
You know what the problem is, Lindsay?
Yes,
Listen. So my drinking days, really, when I was heavily good drink back in college.
Good drinker or?
I could drink. I could
okay.
drink all the time in college and
Yes.
still go to class and be fine.
Mhm. And it was very low shelf,
Well, I,
I'm assuming.
learned how to chug alcohol. And I guess old habits die hard. So you're like, you need to sip. Oh, yes.
Like liquor or chug like
Yes.
beer?
No, it was it all.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Younger Ryan was a different person than old man
I
Ryan
mean, I
right
think
now.
college is about having fun. I don't even think kids do these anymore, but did you ever do or see somebody do a keg stand?
Yes, I have been witness to that. Whether I was partaking or not does not matter.
Oh,
but
I was the queen of.
Man.
But anyway, I think that's enough. Don't you think, Ryan? I think we should move on to why we're here on this podcast. Maybe if we do some sort of contest, whoever loses has to try a keg stand or something.
I'm thinking, and John, I know you're going to agree with me. I'm thinking we reenact that for the show.
Yeah, not this week with dress, but maybe.
Well, not this
future,
week,
yeah.
but in a future episode, we reenact that just to make sure that you're telling the truth, that you can do it.
We'll see.
Anyway, okay, we'll get on with the show today.
Okay.
But coming up next is going to be our trending marketing headlines, and I found one that's gonna kind of hit home a little bit. It's gonna be on the softer side. It's not my typical cringy, funny, flashy stuff.
Oh.
No, this one is a little bit on the softer side of life.
Let's look.
All right, let's take a look at that. For my trending marketing headline today, I wanted to talk about Ralph Lauren. And really, I wanted to get into their Polo Bear. I don't know, Lindsay, have you ever heard of or are you familiar with Ralph Lauren's Polo Bear?
Oh, yes. That's my generation. I mean, I had the sweaters and the hat. Yes, loved it.
Well, this particular video that I'm going to show here in just a minute is Ralph Lauren's first animated art heist film starring Polo Bear. It's kind of a James Bondian.
I have one question, though, since you gave me so much whatever last week for Glossier versus Glossier. Is it Lauren or Lauren?
Oh, man. Where's that French guy that I found that does the...
You'll have to
Lauren.
look it up.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
How do you go about pronouncing it? Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren.
Well, anyway, I do know his name is Polo Bear.
Okay, so let's see it.
So let's bring up the website first. Courtney, if you will. Ralph Lauren's Polo Bear plots, art heist, and mascot's first animated film. Marketing expenses as a percentage of sales were 7.5% in Q1 versus 6.5% during a year ago period.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, tariffs have made a major impact on bigger brands or just businesses in general.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone's trying to adjust to the ever-changing economy around the world.
Right.
In a quiet Manhattan townhouse where the jazz is smooth, the tailoring sharper than a switchblade, lives one gentle bear with a taste for the finer things, with his unlikely sidekick, a streetwise pigeon. They're about to pull off the most refined art recovery of the century. From brownstone to beach house, polo game to gala, they'll outwit socialites and security alike, all without saying a word. Because when the lights go out and the art goes missing, there's only one name on everyone's lips: Polo
Bear.
Oh, I love that.
Like Mission Impossible.
The Polo Bear Chronicles, Operation Black Tie.
All right.
That was nice. I love that, they're doing what some of the other brands we've featured are doing, and they're going back to their roots, a vintage kind of, a vintage little, cherry on top of their branding. And they're also making it very relatable to all types of generations. Like, that's really authentic too and entertaining.
I know it's kind of like we're discovering. I mean, we call this segment Trending Marketing Headlines just because it's whatever the marketing headline that is trending. However, we're discovering a trend within the headlines of all of these labels, like you're saying, going back. I don't know if it's a rebrand, but it's just
going back to their roots.
Going back to their roots. Yeah. I even saw, and we don't have time to do it today, but McDonald's. Have you seen that they are also going back to the same thing?
No.
They are bringing back what's called McDonald's Land. And they have an animated thing, and they're bringing back Ronald McDonald, the Hamburglar, the cookies.
Those little cookies with, remember the little
cookies
handle
with the handles, the trees with the
exciting.
faces, the They're all Grimace. They're all in there.
What about those glasses, like the Smurf
man.
glasses? Wouldn't that be neat?
I remember those glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So we had cabinets full of that kind of stuff.
Well, don't you wish you still had it? I bet like you could get a pretty penny for those now.
Oh man, they're probably collector items.
I bet they are.
Let's go back to that time.
Or bring it back.
Or bring it back. Well, anyway, so this week it was kind of just a quick, marketing headline, something I found on a whim. And up next, we're going to get to our segment 1, which is going to be our foundations of branding. And I think it's going to be a pretty good one too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be step 6, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This week in our foundations of branding, we're going to go over step 6, landscaping. It's your brand's curb appeal.
It's the look and the feel the first time someone finds you. It's your website. It's your storefront. It's your email signature.
First impressions are fast and they set the tone. So when it comes to your business or brand's curb appeal, whether that's in person or digitally, here are some tips. Make your site or storefront clean and current. Why? Because people literally judge in seconds. Good design earns trust very fast. Keep colors, fonts, and photos consistent. You've established your brand guidelines. Be sure to follow them. And remember, consistency makes you easy to spot and very memorable. Use a clear headline or welcoming sign. Customers should get what you do right away. And then don't forget, show some personality. Because human brands that feel authentic and welcoming will be the ones that get chosen.
Now let's polish those details that most people forget. Tighten your social profiles. This is your bio, links, and cover. Why? Many people meet you online first. Refresh visuals quarterly. Out-of-date images make your brand look inactive. Match online and in-store vibes. Why? A consistent feel builds trust. Add branded details. That's your email signatures, receipts, menus. Small touches repeat your story everywhere and instill trust. So I guess the question really comes down to, would you, as a small business owner, walk into your own business? Now that can either mean online or in person.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I think that's a great point, Ryan, because we can get so inundated as a business owner or even an employee of a business to think of all the details that we sometimes get overwhelmed, but we sometimes forget the little basic thing of stepping outside of yourself and thinking and looking through the eye of your customer. So I do challenge businesses out there to just take off your owner hat, take off your team member hat, and then Google yourself, search yourself. What do you see? Do you want to click through? Do you want to go and look at the website? Are you on the website a long time? What are you seeing? Go to the social medias. Would you follow that social media page if you were just somebody out in the general public? And then walk in your front door. What are you seeing?
You know, one of the things that I like to do, this is me personally, this is whether I'm designing something in Photoshop, I'm editing something in Adobe Premiere or whatever creative outlet I am doing, because I'm so into that project, I get someone on the outside to take a look at this. Someone with a fresh set of eyes that I can depend on will tell me truthfully, you know, what am I missing here?
A raw
something good, a
perspective.
raw perspective of what my project is. And that can actually relate to a business as well. Right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Whether that is, you know, in a store, a brick and mortar, or online on your website or something like that. You know?
Because that first impression is so key, which we're talking about in the curb appeal, right? And you really just need to understand what that first set of eyes, that first person is seeing, thinking, feeling about your brand or your business. And you can always take it a little step further. I know a lot of businesses that will get a secret shopper or a secret patron, you know, to just come in or to call, like you said last week. You know, what is that voice? What is that tone that they're getting? What is that first welcome that they're getting from your business? So.
I mean, my mantra has always been for over 20 years now is perception is reality. Whether that is good or bad perception depends. So an example would be, let's say your employees are working extremely hard. They're having a great day. You're getting lots of business, correct? And then they decided, you know what? Let's take a break. I'm going to eat my lunch, my fast food. I had it delivered. I'm going to eat it right here in the front. We're on the checkout stand, right? And I've got my greasy fries. I got my big burger.
As I walk in, right?
I've got my large Coke. And then a new customer walks in, looks over, and the perception is, oh, they're lazy. They're just sitting there eating. Do they not have a lunchroom? Do they not have somewhere to go?
It's unprofessional.
It's unprofessional. Right. I mean, there's so many different things that could be perceived to be reality. It may not be reality.
But it is somebody's. I think I've done this before, but if I drew a 6, what are you seeing?
Well, if I'm drinking a lot, it could be a 9.
And it is even when you're sober. But this is like a whole drinking episode, isn't
I know. This is great.
We're really not lushes, promise. But
we are not, I promise.
But your perception is correct. My perception is correct. Hence, perception is reality. So just look at it through the eyes or the glasses of your audience as well.
Right. I mean, there is a lot to be said about curb appeal.
Yes.
And we could probably do an entire episode on just curb appeal alone, I would think. I could probably talk about this all day.
And in fact, in our next segment, when we're doing a spotlight of the week of a business that we've seen, it's one that has a lot of curb appeal.
And I've seen a little bit of sneak peek on it, so I'm interested to see and learn more about it.
So for this week's Small Business Spotlight, I chose a local business to our Gulf Coast region.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever travel along Highway 98. It's a major thoroughfare, right? Along our community roads. But there is a lawn and landscaping business that has bought this lot, and it had this old house on it, and they're renovating it for a satellite office.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
And so before I go into who that is, Courtney, will you bring up the before shot of the lot and house that this company bought? Okay.
Is that where they're going? That's the future site?
This is the before shot.
The before shot. Oh,
this
okay.
Lawn and landscaping company.
And you're standing in the middle of a really hectic, busy road. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Risking life and limb. Gotcha.
Okay. That was the before shot. So fast forward, Courtney, if you don't mind, after. It's a lawn and landscaping company that's been here for many, many years. I think 2007. It's called DC Lawn and Landscape. So this is a satellite office or an additional office that they're building in our Baldwin County.
So they're showing off their skills right from the roadside.
Yes. So all of a sudden they've like checked the brand awareness box, right? They didn't just throw up their nice sign, which is a nice sign, by the way, but they started hardscaping, landscaping. I mean, that is phenomenal. If I was looking for somebody, I would say, oh, well, they're professional. I mean,
so immediately our philosophy that we had just a minute ago was perception is reality. So it changed your whole perception. Not that you really probably had one before, I wouldn't think, but now it's solidified that the quality of their work, if it's this good for their own office, then that translates to it's probably excellent for your home.
Right. The meticulous design.
I got you.
Yeah. The attention to detail. It really, it's memorable. It makes an impression.
Yeah, no, it looks very good. I like it a lot, actually.
So I do want to share that I think it's a beautiful anomaly in the landscaping world because typically landscapers are so busy doing a lot of the work themselves or coordinating their teams.
Right.
they're just so hands-on that they
Right.
sometimes forget, how are people finding me, right?
Right.
But what this company has done so differently, once I started looking into their brand, is they have a really strategic approach of not only in person or along the highway while you're driving, that they bring their branding into it. Online, it's a beautiful, consistent thing. Like, they have a nice website. On their website, they even have a blog that they update monthly. Courtney, do you mind bringing that up? Look at there. Yeah, and it actually provides value to their clients and their customers or potential customers.
Oh, look at that little rabbit.
I know, isn't that adorable? And look, I mean, everything's so nice and consistent. And
I like the little touches on this website. Like, I know it's not much, but that neon green
yes,
kind of draws the eyes to, and it's subtle. It's
Right.
just look at this and then look at this.
which is
Okay.
probably in their brand guidelines, right? So
Right.
they're the forest green, but yet they have a complementary color that they can use, and they use it very consistently. And the size of their imagery is consistent. It looks professional, just like the hardscape landscaping that we're seeing of the product of their new office that's in the build stage.
Right.
Another thing that I found is just when I went to Google search and I searched for DC lawn and landscape. Can you? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so their Google business page, which is on the right side, look, they keep it up to date with photos of their work, their skill, their expertise, the professionalism. It's high quality photos, yet they're not stock images.
Side note here for a Google business page, if I'm a small business owner, is that something that is that important for me to maintain a lot, like daily or weekly or?
It is important, that you even own it. You claim your business page. It
Right.
is like, to me, it's like Google said, oh,
Okay.
here you go, businesses and brands. I'm going to give you free marketing and advertising on a silver platter.
Right.
It is a free way to have existence on the search engine of Google, which is, I mean, he's the king, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And it's also a way to really brand your business. It's a hybrid. It's kind of a hybrid between your website, your map listing, your social media accounts, and people really do rely on your Google business page. So,
Well, it looks like the DC Lawn Landscaping is utilizing it well then.
and did you notice they had a 5-star rating?
Yeah.
They had over 70 reviews. So that tells me that they're asking people for those reviews.
Right.
And they're replying to their reviews, also a big thing. And then their Facebook, it's consistent as well. Also on the Google, I noticed Google search engine that they're doing local service ads. But the cherry on top of all of this small business spotlight, and I thought it was very interesting for a landscaping company, is they're even on their local news.
They are on their local news. What do you mean?
Yes. Okay, Courtney, bring
They're
it
on
up if you don't mind.
The local news? Take 5.
Hi, I'm April Douglas, and for today's Take 5, our guest is Amanda Patterson with DC Lawn and Landscape. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, such a great topic today. When people are looking for contractors for their hardscape, for their landscape, what should they pay attention to?
So they really want someone who's going to be reliable, experienced, and have a strong portfolio of completed projects. And you want someone who's going to communicate well, and they're going to understand your vision and then have that expertise to bring that vision to life.
And you can
And
stop
that's
it there,
something that
Courtney.
DC Lawn and Landscape.
Isn't that impressive?
I mean, they're getting the word out that who they are, why
Yes.
they matter.
And they're standing out in the
Yeah,
crowd.
right.
Because I know in our local area, we have a lot of people who move here from other areas, they retire, and a lot of people have lawn care services. Are you
Right.
one of those?
I do have a lawn care
I
service.
knew it.
Yes,
I guessed it.
I do.
Yes.
It's not DC, but
And there's a lot of lawn care services that we have to choose from, but they're really standing out in the crowd, and they're going that extra mile.
that's most impressive. I mean, I like how everything's kind of got a good cohesion
Yes.
and plan in place for how they look, how they feel, and clearly they know what they're doing.
They do. They have a strategic approach. So,
Right.
what can the average small business owner take away from this, right? What are those 3 smooth moves and takeaways that DC Lawn and Landscape are following? And that brings us to. So, the 3 smooth branding moves that we can learn from this week's Small Business Spotlight, DC Lawn and Landscape, are they had signature curb appeal. Why that works for small businesses is because a well-designed storefront acts as a live portfolio, capturing the attention and showcasing the quality of your business. It's an immediate trust builder. They had barrel-aged multi-platform presence. By maintaining a consistent brand across all online platforms to boost your awareness and improve your searchability, ensures your audience can really easily find you. And they had neat marketing initiatives, meaning they went a little bit over and beyond. They thought about how can they diversify their marketing efforts, like in local search ads, the monthly blogs, and they enhanced their visibility and positioned their business as an industry leader in our area.
Those were some really good pointers, Lindsay. And if I had just one little small takeaway as a small business owner, I would say first impressions are key. Right?
Spot on.
All right, cool. Now let's get to my favorite part of the show. Let's pour some bourbon. Have you ever heard of the 4 horsemen from the Bible? I have, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, because today we're talking about the bourbon brand of the week, and that's the 4 Roses, not the 4 horsemen. Are you following me today?
No, I am
I'm not either, but you know what? This bourbon is fantastic.
I mean, it really is. I'm loving it too.
This is some great stuff.
Yeah, thank you, John. Good
Thank you, John.
recommendation.
Our John.
Right. But you know, it's not about just the recommendations on taste. When I choose the bourbon of the week, and I did this one,
Right.
what else does it have to do with?
You know what I like? I like the quality of all the bottles
Yeah, and the branding.
and the branding and the story. Didn't you say that there's a story to this?
Oh, it's a beautiful story. You see the little red rose.
Yes.
Yeah, and Courtney, if you don't mind bringing up their collection for 4 Roses, see
Yeah. See,
their
you're
rose
yeah.
motif. But the story
You alluded
is
to
so cute. It's the founder, I think in the late 1880s, that he was just smitten for this beautiful Southern belle. And so he sent his proposal, and her response was, "If it is yes, I will wear a rose or roses at the grand ball." And so guess what happened at the grand ball, Ryan?
She dumped him and went out with some guy that has a lot more money.
Which would be much more fun of a story, but no,
Oh.
she wore a beautiful corsage with 4
Of course she
roses,
did.
and the rest is history. So when in Kentucky he opened his distillery, he named his bourbon 4 Roses.
Which is a lot better of a story than, like, you know, how I wined and dined Courtney. I gave her a piece of paper beforehand. It said, "Do you like me? Check mark yes or no."
How old were you?
I don't know.
Y'all have been married a while. Weren't y'all high school sweetheart?
Yeah, it was like 70 years ago, I think. Plus or minus a few.
I think this should be a competition. How many years have you been married,
A long time.
Courtney?
A long time. We're pushing 25 years.
Okay, you've got us beat.
Do you
We're
know,
at like 22.
Do you know how I know that off the bat?
No, I don't.
I was married in 2000, so I just have to.
Oh,
what
that
year is it?
brilliant. That's brain, recognition.
Because she
That's
knew I was
really
bad at
good.
math. Anyway,
Yes.
back to
Okay.
the 4 Roses.
Woo. Okay. So this week's is not just the regular 4 Roses. It's a small batch select, and there's a lot of different qualities in the whole scenario. This one's 104 proof.
Woo! Which
Yeah.
which tops our bourbon that we had last week. What was the one we had last week?
Judge
Roy Beans.
Yes, and it was your bourbon. So you're saying
Yes.
that my bourbon is better than yours.
It is actually, even though mine had the honey cask thing, and the story on that is really a nice one.
Yeah.
This
but it
one,
was 80 proof.
It was
and
80 proof. That one was a casual bourbon. This one feels more refined, more elegant, more.
Right. And it's definitely a trend among the bourbon people right now to have
Right.
a higher proof. So I'm not always about the fads and the trends, but in this case, I have to say I like the higher proof.
I definitely like this one. This was a very good one.
But I would like to bring up, do you mind just bringing up, Courtney, the main Four Roses? Yes. And if you don't mind scrolling down, their process is very unique because they use 5 proprietary yeast concoctions and 2 mash bills.
Oh.
And then it's comprised of 10 total recipes. And I think in this particular small batch select, they took 2 of the recipes to create this.
I like how they've easily outlined and
Yeah.
and
So we can understand the people like
Yeah,
us, right? We're
right.
getting it.
yeah, because we are not expert,
But you gotta stop.
bourbon
We're better than we were
aficionados.
episode 3.
we are just expert drinkers.
We are.
That's
We are.
right.
Don't think, just drink.
No thinking, just drinking. That's our new motto.
So I guess if we were to rate it, well, first, what do you taste when you taste this?
So, okay, a few things here when it comes to this bourbon. Number one,
Right.
the smell. So,
The nose, for those who are knowing
Yes.
what
Yes,
we're
the
talking about, and we
nose.
don't there.
the nose. Let's talk about the nose. It's fruity. There is a big fruit smell coming from this bourbon.
Right.
But when I taste it, it's more of a spicy candy or a candied spice, however you want to say that. It's sweet, but it has a little bit of a spice to it.
Spot on. A lot of the reviews that I was seeing online is this is a lot of people's fall drink, autumn drink, kicking off football season drink, because it has that like candied apple kind of.
Yes.
Right. And so
does
online,
have
it
fall.
does say on the Four Roses and the reviews, it starts off with the traditional caramel oak, vanilla, but the apple cider shows up. So I think that's what you were. picking
It
up
does
on.
have a very perfect fall. I wish the weather was matching this drink right now, but it has a very fall-esque
Somebody even said
taste.
it like tastes pumpernickel bread.
pumpernickel bread.
I'm not a big pumpernickel bread fan, but I do like this. So.
Yeah, this is a really, really good
Yeah.
drink.
What do you think about the finish?
Overall, this is a very well-refined drink that, like I said earlier, it just feels elegant. I don't know why that comes to mind. I don't know if it's the branding on the bottle, which has a very elegant feel to it. It feels upper class. It feels.
It does. To me, the finish though isn't as smooth and mellow as some others. Blanton's. I'm a Blanton's fan, and yeah, but
But,
it's a little prickly to
I
me.
did have Blanton's earlier, and I would say would give it a good run for the money. I'm not
I
saying that
agree.
it would beat it, but I would say it's a good.
So you're saying if you ranked the 3, Blanton's Blood Oath and Four Roses Small Batch Select.
I would never, I would have always said Blanton's first, but
Yeah.
I'm going to have another drink of the Blood Oath. I know I say that a lot, and I had a really good memory of it. But as of today, I would say Blood Oath first, then Blanton's, then this. But
okay. And I would say Blanton's Blood Oath in this, but this is definitely top, especially at the price point.
Right.
$50-$60. I mean, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is
compared to Blanton's
way
and
more
Blood
affordable
Oath, this
than
is
the
like
other
half
two.
the price. So I guess it's how we're ranking them. But so today's Lindsay rating scale of the Four Roses Small Batch Select, I'm going to give it an 8.2.
I would have said 8.
Really?
8 was going to be my number for it for sure.
Right. So
Like hard 8 all
good
day
job,
long.
Four Roses.
Well, I mean, thanks so much for bringing this Four Roses. And coming up next, Courtney, roll that beautiful outro. Remember, if you wouldn't even walk into your own business, well, why should anyone else?
And thank you so much for joining us today. We really want to hear your feedback, so leave us a comment. We also want to hear if you have a favorite bourbon we should feature, or even if your small business should be our next spotlight. So be sure to like, subscribe, send us a message if you need some help. And until next time,
Stay bold
stay you.
and get branded. See you next time.
Cheers. Cheers.